Something unusual is happening in the world of operating systems. And if you've been paying attention even casually, you can feel it. For decades, the narrative has been predictable. Windows dominates the desktop, Mac OS controls a premium slice, and Linux quietly powers servers, developers, and enthusiasts who are willing to trade convenience for control. But now there's a shift that doesn't feel incremental. It feels structural. It feels like one of those rare moments where the foundation itself starts moving, and the ripple effects haven't fully revealed themselves yet. What makes it even more interesting is not just the breakthrough itself, but the silence surrounding it from a company that usually has something to say about everything: Microsoft. At first glance, the breakthrough might not look dramatic. There's no single announcement, no flashy keynote moment where a CEO steps on stage and declares a revolution. Instead, it's a convergence of changes that have been building quietly, almost invisibly, until suddenly they intersect. Linux has always been powerful, flexible, and free, but historically it has struggled with one critical barrier: accessibility for everyday users. Not developers, not system administrators, not hobbyists, but ordinary people who just want their computer to work. That barrier is now cracking in a way we haven't seen before. The first piece of this shift comes from usability. For years, Linux desktops were criticized for fragmentation and inconsistency. Different distributions, different package managers, different desktop environments, and a constant need to tweak things manually created friction that most users simply didn't want to deal with. But over the past couple of years, something changed. Projects started focusing not on adding more options, but on reducing complexity. Distributions like Fedora, Ubuntu, and newer players have refined their interfaces to the point where the experience is no longer Linux-like, it's just intuitive. The system boot's fast updates happen seamlessly, and hardware support is no longer the gamble it used to be. But usability alone isn't enough to trigger a major shift. The real turning point comes when usability meets compatibility. One of the biggest reasons people stayed on Windows wasn't because they loved it, but because they needed it. Certain applications, certain games, certain workflows simply didn't exist on Linux. Or if they did, they required awkward workarounds. That's where the breakthrough becomes undeniable. Compatibility layers like Proton and Wine have evolved far beyond their original scope. They're no longer experimental tools. They're becoming a standard part of the Linux experience. Games that once required Windows are now running on Linux with performance that sometimes matches or even exceeds native Windows performance. This isn't theoretical anymore. It's measurable, repeatable, and increasingly common. Major gaming platforms are supporting Linux in ways that would have seemed unrealistic a decade ago, and gaming matters more than people think. It's not just entertainment. It's a stress test for performance, graphics drivers, and system integration. If Linux can handle modern gaming reliably, it can handle almost anything a typical user throws at it. Then there's the hardware angle, which is often overlooked but absolutely critical. In the past, installing Linux on a laptop or desktop was a gamble. Wi-Fi might not work, graphics drivers might break, sleep mode could be unreliable, and battery life could suffer. But hardware manufacturers are starting to treat Linux differently. Some are officially supporting it, others are ensuring their components work out of the box, and a few are even shipping devices with Linux pre-installed. This might sound small, but it's a massive shift in mindset. Hardware support is no longer an afterthought. It's becoming part of the design process. And while all of this is happening, Microsoft has taken an interesting position. Instead of directly competing with Linux in the traditional sense, they've been integrating it. The Windows subsystem for Linux was initially seen as a tool for developers, a way to bring Linux functionality into Windows without leaving the ecosystem. But in doing so, Microsoft effectively validated Linux as an essential platform. They didn't try to eliminate it, they embraced it. And that decision has long-term consequences. Because once users start relying on Linux tools within Windows, a subtle shift begins. The dependency on Windows decreases. If your workflow runs inside a Linux environment, then Windows becomes more of a host than a necessity. And at that point, the question naturally arises, why not just run Linux directly? It's a slow realization, but it's powerful. It doesn't happen overnight, but when it does, it changes how people think about their operating system entirely. Another piece of the puzzle is performance and efficiency. Modern computing isn't just about raw power. It's about how efficiently that power is used. Linux has always had an advantage here, particularly on lower-end hardware. Systems that struggle under the weight of newer Windows versions can feel surprisingly responsive when running Linux. This isn't just about reviving old machines, though that's part of it. It's about redefining expectations. When users see that their hardware can perform better with a different operating system, it challenges the assumption that upgrades are always necessary. There's also a growing awareness around privacy and control. This isn't a niche concern anymore. More users are questioning how their data is used, how much control they actually have over their devices, and whether the trade-offs they've accepted for convenience are still worth it. Linux, by its nature, offers a different model. It's transparent, customizable, and largely free from the kinds of telemetry and restrictions that have become more common in other operating systems. For some users, this isn't just a feature. It's a deciding factor. But perhaps the most important aspect of this breakthrough is cultural rather than technical. Linux has always had a strong community, but it was often inward-facing. Documentation could be dense, forums could be intimidating, and the learning curve could feel steep. That culture is evolving. There's a greater emphasis on onboarding, on making new users feel welcome, on creating tools that don't require deep technical knowledge to use effectively. This shift in culture might be the most significant change of all, because it addresses not just the system itself but the experience of adopting it. Meanwhile, Microsoft's silence isn't necessarily a sign of weakness, but it is notable. In the past, major shifts in the computing landscape were met with clear responses, whether through new products, aggressive marketing, or strategic pivots. This time the response is quieter. Windows continues to evolve, but there isn't a direct counter-narrative to what's happening in the Linux world. Instead, Microsoft seems to be focusing on broader ecosystems, cloud services, and integration rather than direct competition at the operating system level. This raises an interesting possibility. The competition between Windows and Linux might not be as direct as it once was. Instead of fighting for the same space in the same way, they're diverging. Windows is becoming more integrated with services and platforms, while Linux is becoming more refined, more accessible, and more capable as a standalone system. This divergence creates room for Linux to grow in areas where it previously struggled, particularly on the desktop. And growth is happening, even if it's gradual. Market share numbers don't always capture the full picture, especially in a space where usage can be fragmented and distributed, but there are clear indicators. More developers are using Linux as their primary environment. More creators are experimenting with Linux-based workflows. More gamers are testing and adopting Linux systems. And importantly, more everyday users are giving it a try and not immediately going back. The tipping point for any platform isn't just about capability. It's about perception. Once people start to believe that something is viable, adoption accelerates. Linux has crossed that threshold in several areas and it's approaching it in others. The question is no longer whether Linux can compete, but how far it can go. There are still challenges, of course. No system is perfect, and Linux is no exception. Software availability, while improved, isn't universal. Certain professional tools and niche applications still have limited or no support. The diversity of distributions, while a strength in some ways, can still be confusing for new users. And while hardware support has improved significantly, edge cases still exist. These challenges aren't insignificant, but they're no longer insurmountable barriers. What makes this moment different is that the trajectory is clear. Each year, the gaps become smaller, the experience becomes smoother, and the reasons not to switch become less compelling. At the same time, the reasons to consider Linux are becoming more visible and more relevant to a broader audience. So when we talk about a breakthrough, it's not a single event, it's a convergence. It's the point where usability, compatibility, performance, hardware support, and community all align in a way that changes the equation. And that's exactly what's happening now. It's subtle, but it's powerful. It's the kind of shift that doesn't announce itself loudly, but once it's underway, it's difficult to reverse. Microsoft's silence adds an extra layer of intrigue, but it also reflects a changing landscape. The dominance of a single operating system is no longer the defining feature of computing. Instead, we're moving toward a more diverse ecosystem where different platforms serve different needs, and users have more choice than ever before. In that context, Linux isn't just catching up. It's redefining its role. It's moving from the margins toward the center, not by trying to imitate what already exists, but by evolving into something that stands on its own. And that evolution is what makes this moment feel different. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that this isn't just about Linux or Windows. It's about how we interact with technology, how much control we have, and what we expect from the tools we use every day. The breakthrough we're seeing isn't just technical, it's philosophical. It challenges assumptions that have been in place for decades and opens the door to new possibilities. Whether this ultimately leads to a dramatic shift in market share or a more gradual redistribution of users remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the conversation has changed. Linux is no longer an alternative in the shadows. It's a legitimate option in the spotlight, and it's gaining momentum in a way that's hard to ignore. And maybe that's why the silence from Microsoft feels so significant. Not because it signals defeat, but because it acknowledges, even indirectly, that something real is happening. Something that doesn't need to be announced to be understood. Something that, once you see it, you can't unsee.